There's been a lot of talk about the 2014 Tumblr girl aesthetic and nostalgia for Tumblr grunge and soft grunge. With that, I've seen a few bring up how much sadness was romanticized on the site around this time, and how we need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. However, I would argue that it wasn't just during 2014 that this romanticization was prevalent. I'd say it was all the way from like 2012 to 2017, all of Tumblr's prime. Tumblr always felt like an appropriate place to vent about sadness, where instead of getting a judgmental response, you'd often be met with acceptance and even encouragement, but not encouragement to get better, encouragement to stay sad, or in some cases, even to get worse. They say that misery loves company, and this couldn't be more true for Tumblr. I think that when sadness becomes an aesthetic and part of an online community, it's only ever going to be encouraged, and everyone is going to feed off of each other. These are the type of things that people were reblogging, including me, and many of these pictures had tens of thousands of reblogs. I'm going to go into detail a little bit about the specific behaviors that Tumblr would encourage, and obviously trigger warning for any type of self-destruction. So there was the pro-Ana blogs, and if you don't know what pro-Ana is, if you've never heard that before, it means pro-anorexia. There were tons of blogs on Tumblr specifically for pro-Ana, and there was a whole community around it, and while I personally didn't seek out that content or follow any blogs specifically for that, I was following blogs that were sad in a more general sense, and also blogs that had to do with like self-harm and stuff. And I definitely saw pro-Ana posts every now and then, like a black and white picture of a really skinny girl and then it's tagged like pro-Ana. And I definitely see the problem with seeing something like that without seeking it out, especially if you're young and impressionable and already sad and in a horrible place. It could definitely do some damage, but I won't get too into that because I wasn't really part of that specific community. I'm talking more in general about the aesthetics that would show up on our dashboards because of the general popularity of the grunge aesthetic and how that tied into a lot of mental illness content. Another behavior you would see everywhere was smoking. And now I don't want to judge anyone who smokes, but I'm just saying that it could be very impressionable for young people to see beautiful, picturesque, sad girl pictures with cigarettes. It's hard not to want to be them. There were a few different icons of this time, whether that be characters from TV shows and movies or celebrities. I'm going to touch on just a few of them. There was Effie Stonem from Skins. To me, this seems like the most popular one. I feel like I could not go on Tumblr during the height of grunge and not see a GIF or a picture of Effie with a sad quote next to it. And this is interesting because a lot of the things, Effie somehow became this icon of depression and sadness, and a lot of the captions on her pictures are things that she did not say. Now, I haven't watched Skins in such a long time, but this one says, "I feel like I bother people just by being alive." Effie did not say this. Effie's character was not self-deprecating. She knew that she was hot and popular. She had a ton of problems. She's a very complex character. Tumblr kind of projected a personality onto her, and she became like the depression icon. I think that Effie is an over-romanticized character because she's sad and she's beautiful. She's really beautiful. And not only that, but if you haven't seen the show, all of the boys want her. They all care about her. They all care about her sadness and want her to be better. And this is the dream for the teenage Tumblr girl. We also see this in shows like 13 Reasons Why, where the main character who's sad is also beautiful, and that show is told from the boy's perspective, the boy who was in love with her and cared about her. And I think that's kind of part of the fantasy. Wanting people to care, wanting to be important, wanting to be beautiful. I feel like Lana Del Rey was someone that I saw a lot of pictures and gifs of, and I'm very unfamiliar with Lana Del Rey's music, but I've heard that it definitely had a lot of sadness and dark feelings and kind of like a beautiful romantic way of expressing that, so it was easy for her to become one of these Tumblr icons. Another one is Angelina Jolie's character in Girl Interrupted. I mean, this one could not be more obvious. Angelina Jolie is the most attractive person in the world. So her very mentally ill character is obviously highly romanticized. For a lot of people, including me, sharing these images and GIFs was a way to vent, but some blogs did get very popular for being sad blogs, and whoever was running those blogs probably felt like they had to keep up with this content. They couldn't try to get better because everyone around them was encouraging them to be sad. The thing is that tying sadness and depression with beauty, with these beautiful girls and these picturesque scenes and romantic gifts, makes people want to be sad and depressed. For people who already have mental illness, this might keep them away from recovery longer than necessary. And for those without mental illness, it might make them want a mental illness, which is a really scary thought. And honestly, I'm sure that happened a lot, especially with really young people on Tumblr during that time. I have somewhat complicated feelings about this because reblogging sad thing during my darkest days felt good at the time. Seeing these pictures with tens of thousands of notes made me feel like I wasn't alone. Following a bunch of sad blogs, I don't know, gave me a weird sense of community, even though I wasn't really interacting with anyone directly. But all in all, mental illness should not be an aesthetic. I think really it does more harm than good. And I think that's about it. Let me know if there are any points that I missed here. By the way, this is my first time using my new camera and microphone. I hope the audio sounds good. I don't know, I played this back and I feel like it sounded kind of weird. I think I could get a different microphone to connect to this camera, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.